All right. I think this is actually working now. How do I see? There's 5 viewers. Let me know in the comments in the group if you can hear me. Okay, let me know in the comments in the group if you can hear me. There's a delay, so I know it'll take a couple of seconds here for those to come up, and then we'll jump into some of the things that I have scheduled. I'm very sorry that we had all kinds of problems. GoToWebinar still doesn't even want to load. This web page is not available. That's not good if you're GoToWebinar. Watch, it'll load now. Yeah, it'll load now. Let's see if it probably still won't let me sign in. But let me know, guys, if you can hear me in the comments. Whoops, we don't want that screen repeating forever. Let's see. By 6 of you. It says there are viewers on here, so I'm confused how much of a lag there might be. Or 5 viewers. Okay. Okay, you can hear it. Woo! Okay. Well, again, sorry that we're going through these hoops today, but we'll get this recorded. It is recording. It's automatically recording because it's Google Hangout. And we'll get it into the office hours. I do have some, what I think is pretty good stuff here today. And then you guys can use the comments in the group to interact, okay? So first thing I want to point out is some things we've added to the members area. Okay. Number 1, Goodwill Pages login and information. Okay. And there's a video here of Jeff walking through. If you're confused, need help, whatever, just email support. There is also a link for us to set up landing pages for you, done for you setup, which, where is that? Just email support. I know Mike has it. I thought Jeff was posting it here somewhere, but maybe he probably has it posted in the Goodwill Pages back office. That's probably where it is. Additionally, there's a new action plan here, the Ultimate Email Swipe File Action Plan. There are several different things in here. This probably could have been broken up into several action plans, but I just decided to keep it all under. So there's a buyer lead follow-up campaign, there's a seller lead follow-up campaign, and then there's just a miscellaneous email swipes, let's say. And where was the other one? This is a new action plan, a relatively new action plan that's live as well. This one will be coming soon next week. And I know there's another one. This one will be coming soon next week. Probably that one. So we got a lot of stuff coming soon as well. I added a marketing critique here, okay? This is a pretty good critique, I think, and Dutch actually had a follow-up to the critique, so I'm going to check that out on the office hours. And I've got another critique that I shot yesterday. We'll get that one in there with some good notes as well, so you can check those out. I tried to keep the critiques in the 8 to 15 minute range so you guys can more easily digest them, whereas these office hours sometimes go a little bit longer, but for whatever that's worth. What else did I want to point out? I think that's it on the housekeeping stuff. Let's go ahead and check out. I know Dutch posted, for those of you who had already checked out the critique, his update to the blog post. So Dutch had originally, find out what more, free weekly report, subscribe here, cool. And I don't know why that's not, I don't know why that's opening like that. Let's see. So he's linking out to some other sites, which will get him some link juice. That's good. And then he made the call to action. Hopefully that, I don't know why that's not working, Dutch. That is not a Goodwill page. I know it's a lead barrel page, but I don't know why it's not working. If you'd like us to build whatever you did here on Goodwill Pages and feed it into your lead barrel, I'm pretty 99% sure we can do that. So let us know if you want to do that. That would be great. I also, there was a couple of posts that Dutch made yesterday that I thought were potentially instructive for everyone. And so I want to share some things, and then I want to share with everyone, how you might turn this into content and subsequently into a campaign that will allow you to connect with, on numerous different levels, your ideal audience. Okay, so there was actually 2 posts here that I saw him make that had interesting, relevant content to the audience, to the clientele that Dutch is trying to attract. And so here's how I would recommend turning this into content that you can use to connect, to get more fans, to get more leads, opting in to your email database, to get people engaging on many different levels, liking, sharing, etc. So now this requires some work, but I think it's worthwhile, especially if you start to focus on doing the kind of work I'm describing to you versus doing the kind of work that most of you, myself included, disdain or have disdain for. The chasing style of marketing, the cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, etc. So these 2 posts are potentially great content that you can then create blog posts on your blog. If you don't have a blog, we can get you set up with one in Goodwill Pages. Just email support. Or if you do have a blog like Dutch already has, you can take this content and repurpose it on your blog, right? Maybe you've got your own image of a place like this. And if you don't, do like I did yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was yesterday. I can't remember. 2 days ago, maybe. Go out and take some of this type of imagery for content that you can create. And you could do one of several things. You could simply take and repost this post, okay, on your blog, and credit, or there's a different word than credit that I'm trying to think of. I'm drawing a blank. But give credit back to this Metro Family magazine and for creating the post. Or, you don't have to. What you could do, or what Dutch could do, is he doesn't have to take all of these things. He could take the ones that are closer in proximity to the audience that he's trying to attract and make his own list of those. So instead of this exhaustive list, he might take the top 10 that he sees that would be of interest. And then he could create a blog post, okay? And ideally, on that blog post, let's open Dutch's blog post again here. So on that blog post, what I would ideally like to see are several different things. First of all, a right-hand column offer, okay? An offer in the right-hand column. Second of all, in the right-hand column, a fan page widget, so people can see how many fans you already have, and they can become a fan if they're not already a fan, just making that very easy. And then I would have the content, and at the end, make a strong call to action like this one here. And then you've got content that is indirectly giving people a way to connect with you and raise their hand as someone interested in real estate. But you're doing it in a way that is a better experience for the consumer, which means you'll get a much higher percentage of people clicking and engaging than if you were making a straight offer on the page, okay? A straight offer on your fan page. So the steps in the process would be, you would take this content and you would repurpose it into your own content on your blog. You would optimize the blog a little bit better with a right column offer. I would integrate your existing fan page more, and I would include an offer at the end of the blog post, and maybe even in the middle. Okay, like in the middle, just have a banner or a call to action. And by the by, for those of you who are having trouble following me, I'll have an example of this ready for next office hours of some things I'm doing locally. Okay, so I'm just walking you through an idea for now, because I know some of you who are massive action takers, Dutch included, will take this idea and run with it and probably have some results next week. But once you have the blog post created, then we go and post it on the fan page. We use the image. We make a clickable link post. We use the image that we've taken and we've integrated as the featured image on our blog as the click-through. And then we go and create a campaign, a boosted post campaign. And we target 2 people depending on how many fans you already have. If you already have I would say, several hundred fans, then you would do it there. This is probably Mike saying, nope. I was thinking maybe that was Mike saying that he's getting support requests because of the whole GTW, GoToWebinar meltdown. Anyway, so then you would create a post. So depending on how many fans you have, you would create a campaign to boost to your existing fans, and then you would run a boosted post objective campaign to your entire target audience, which again, I'm going to create an action plan around this entire process I'm taking you through and have examples. I'm just walking you through an idea of, how you can take, for example, things that Dutch is already on the lookout and turn it into content that he can use to attract his ideal target audience. Okay, top 10 free events in OKC. And since we've already missed some of these, you could change this into a top 5 list, skip the ones that were already passed, and do the same thing with this post. Okay, is that making sense? Is that helpful? You guys following what I'm saying here? You picking up what I'm putting down, as I don't know, some people say. Anyway, let's see if we've got any more comments, questions, etc. No more comments and questions. I'm just going to check something. You're going to get, so we got a small audience because of this nonsense. That's frustrating. Anyway, let's move on to something else that I had lined up. I'm calling "Don't Be This Guy," and I might make this a regular segment on these office hours. I hope you can't see the fella's name because I'm not trying to pick on him or make fun of him. But I think it was sometime over the weekend, or maybe it was Monday. I get an email from an agent in Hawaii. The subject line is "Just sold these properties." I'm thinking, okay, I'm not really seeing what's in it for me here. And then I open it and it screams again, "Just sold these properties," with lots of exclamation points. And then it's got his face and his brand logo. And there's not even a single call to action. And the point here is, this is doing, not only is this not helping him, this is hurting him. This is doing harm to his business, his brand, and his product. And his product really is him, not even real estate per se. And so I'm not picking on this person. He probably just doesn't know any better. He's trying to take action, but he just doesn't know any better. But my point is, please don't ever send things like this. Everything that you send, whether it be an email that you send, a post that you would make it about the consumer and what's in it for them. And just don't, do whatever you can to not make it about you, okay? Not make it about you. So don't be that guy. All right, now I want to share an email interaction that I had with a member lately, or recently, yesterday, that I think is instructive on numerous levels. And I've specifically taken out the specifics in here because whatever, I don't think it serves anybody. But I hope it helps you maybe in clarifying your thinking around one of the primary beliefs that we have as in the Client Alchemist Pro community, which is I want to see you go deeper with a narrow target audience versus trying to go wide over a massive, huge target audience. And if you're not following me, I think it'll become clearer as we go through this. So-and-so writes me this email. I'm having trouble choosing a niche or a target audience. I really want mover-ups with a home to sell, move-up buyers. It doesn't sound catchy for a website. This is irrelevant. Okay, this is irrelevant. Doesn't sound catchy for a website. Not really that important at this point anymore. Age 30 to 60 or so, I want to build my seller inventory and increase my average price. Baby boomers might be good, or empty nesters. When I read foreclosures or luxury, it causes a big mind block that prevents settling on a clever niche. Can you help me with this? Also, do you know that so-and-so and I are in the same market? I thought he was working with someone other than you. So a couple of things here. I didn't actually address this in my response, but you all should never be worried about so-and-so, another pro member being in your market. There is, with very, very, very few exceptions, there is more than enough business to go around for all of you. I promise you. Even if you think your niche or target audience is the same, different people, a different subset or a different percentage of that target audience or of that niche is going to interact or engage with you versus that other person. Because you have different personalities, you might be making different offers, even if you are making the same offers. So don't ever worry about that. With very, very little exception, there is more than enough abundance to go around, okay? Now, I did address some of the other things. Hey, so-and-so, based upon your responses, I think your best bet is to focus on one particular geographic area, a city, a town, or a zip code, and then layer on the criteria of them being homeowners. That way you're attracting potentially both move-up buyers and downsizing sellers. I don't think you need to get clever with the niche, quote unquote. You just have to identify the audience you want to attract and consistently create content and campaigns to attract that audience to you. Example, I did some quick checking, and there are 8,400 people on Facebook who live in blank. Blank happened to be one of the areas that I know from her website that she quote unquote specializes in, okay? So just that one area, there was 8,400 homeowners, according to Facebook. Plenty big enough audience to do the kind of action plans and the type of campaigns and content that we talk about in the pro community. Plenty, okay? So if blank was the area you wanted to focus on, you'd create a fan page called blank homes and lifestyles, for example. Then all the campaigns you'd run, buyer offers, seller offers, listing syndications, content offers, or content based posts would be to that target audience. And all the offers and campaigns would be crafted to be very congruent to them. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that you should choose blank area. I just know that that was one of the geographic areas that was listed on your site. She replies, very helpful. Though I have many friends in that blank area and go to church in that blank area, graduated college, blah, 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 the price is lower. And in that school district, many homes are sold by quote unquote word of mouth. It's a coveted school system with a much Christian influence. I'm just reading her response, okay? There's not any judgment. As realtors, we work the entire greater blank area, which in this case is a huge area, and it includes, and she listed like 12 different areas, okay? 12 different towns, etc., outside of like the core metro city, right? I do have these 2 domains, I think one along with the .nets. I think when I came back to KW 2 years ago and took the website class, blah, 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 I quickly put those 2 areas I did have an exclusive, really like blah, blah, blah. I guess I can target by content, the mover uppers, etc. I have about around 30 domains geared towards real estate. Several of the value ones I have not used as well. Okay. This speaks to getting way, way too complex. And what I want for all of you is to simplify your business. You should be asking this question every day. What can I do to simplify the way I'm doing business and simplify the means in which I attract clients? And having a bunch of different niches and a bunch of different geographic areas that you quote unquote serve is not the way to simplify. Okay. Here's my final response, and then we'll move on to something else here. I think the biggest thing you need to do is let go of covering all of that metro area. Though, and this is important, because just because you're not strategically and systematically going out and attracting business in all those areas, you still will attract referred business. And you're not going to say no to that. If it's an area that you are okay doing business with, but it's, you know, someone within the target geographic and demographic area that you're creating campaigns and content for, and they refer you to somebody outside of that area, but it's still an area that you're comfortable serving, you're not going to say no, right? So you're still going to get that business. So if blank, because she said she actually changed here, okay? So she told me a different area entirely that we hadn't even talked about. And I said, if that area is where you want to focus, then that's what you should narrow down to. On Facebook alone, there are 60, whoa, whoops, I missed another blank. Yeah, well, there are 60,000 homeowners, 60,000 homeowners in one of the suburb or cities outside of the main metro area that she quote unquote serves, which means if you focused there and took consistent action, you generate more business than you could ever hope to serve. So I hope that was instructive on some level for you guys. And it's the kind of conversation that I encourage us to have as pro members together. Because I think it's how you can be. I told this story. I'm actually writing a book right now on, you know, the client Alchemist way, let's say. And I told a story today. I'm having help with the writing of the book, basically because I'm not the best writer, but I can talk through concepts and so forth. And so I have someone who's recording my thoughts and then sort of editing them into book form. Anyway, so I told this story today of how when I was young, my parents had a nursery and a landscape company, and my dad would give me tasks, right? He didn't necessarily tell me, I want you to go work for 2 hours. He would say, I want you to go and do X, right? I want you to go weed the entire greenhouse. Greenhouse number 3, I want you to weed the whole thing, or something like that. And so because he wasn't telling me to work a fixed number of hours, I don't know, maybe it's just the way my brain works, or maybe he unknowingly fostered my brain to work like this. I would always sit and think first, what is the absolute most efficient way that I can get this job done in the shortest amount of time possible? Because I could do it inefficiently and still work hard, and maybe it'll take 3 hours. But if I do it efficiently and I work hard, maybe it'll only take me half an hour or an hour. So I have always, because of that, I've always looked for what Tim Ferriss calls minimum effective dose. What's the least amount of work I can do to get the greatest result possible? Okay. And it doesn't mean that I don't work hard. It means that I work smart and hard at the same time. I'm very efficient and effective at the same time. Okay. And so simplifying things, narrowing your target, is how you can work more efficiently and effectively, how you can work smarter and harder at the same time. All right. So I heard a comment chime in here. Let's see if, okay, you just touched on listing syndication to the targeted Facebook business page. How do you suggest we doing that? Vanessa, in the members area, we have under action plans, this one, FB listing video syndication. This is for syndicating a video listing, okay, a video of your listing. And if you don't have a video, you can use the exact same process, except instead of uploading videos, you would upload a photo or 4 photos. Now, that said, I will also have an action plan specifically for syndicating a listing with photos. I'll have that ready early next week. Maybe this week still, but probably early next week. But this process is the process that I would follow, other than when it talks about uploading your video, you would simply upload, I would either do 1 photo or 4 photos. But like I said, I will have a step-by-step action plan for that in the very near future. And if and when you're ready to do that, I'm happy to critique what you're going to do either before you syndicate it, okay, before you start spending any money or time on it, or after you have, or whatever. So I'm happy to help critique that at any point in the process, okay? Any other questions or comments, please use the comment box here. That would be great. I want to bring up, this I'm going to turn into an action plan as well. I want to bring up a campaign that I just created this morning. It's a campaign that I've tested before, but haven't tested recently. And it's one that you can do. I'm calling it the seller referral campaign. It's one that you can do without having to create or have any other technology, landing page, blog, any other software whatsoever, other than an optimized fan page, unbranded fan page, and a cell phone number, okay? So I'll just show you this campaign. Actually, you know what I'll do? First, I'll bring up the post. And then I heard somebody leave a comment or a question. So again, this will be an action plan in the back office before too long. And I'm happy to, you know what, I'll put this, you know what, here's what I'll do. I'll put this actual text. Oh man, I got too many tabs open right now. Let's close some of this. My notes. There we go. Okay, so I'll put the text that I used here, so the copy that I used here, and I will put a screenshot in these notes, and these notes will accompany the replay once the replay is live in the members area. And let's put that right here. So we'll make sure that that accompanies it. And then I'll show you the campaign that I'm running for that. So this is the campaign that I'm running for this. And we'll see what happens. So I don't think I've gotten anybody to email or message me yet, but I've only spent 64 cents. So, I mean, it's way too early to make any assumptions to that end. But I do have a couple of people who have liked it already. So that's a good start. And what I'm doing is I'm running this to, well, here you can see the post, that it's the same post. And I am the audience that I'm running it to. There we go. Yeah. The audience that I'm running it to is 3 cities that are all considered sort of the West Shore and homeowners. And my total audience size is 36,000. Now, ultimately, it would be even more congruent to the target audience if, for example, like one of the cities is Mechanicsburg, if the name of the page was Mechanicsburg Homes and Lifestyles and the copy was Mechanicsburg, and we were just targeting Mechanicsburg homeowners, but for a number of reasons, I'm casting a little bit of wider net because of the vision I have for this page and what I'm trying to do with this page. And so I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of congruency for the bigger picture that I have with what's going on here, okay? But I do know and understand and would like to impart to all of you that if we had been even more specific with the name of the page and, you know, using that here and here. So if it was, you know, Mechanicsburg Homes and Lifestyles, Mechanicsburg Homes Are Selling, Mechanicsburg House, it would be even more, and you know, even if the email was, it would potentially be more, even more congruent, potentially. So, but I wanted to share that as something that you guys are, you might want to test in your own business. And as I get more results, as the campaign runs for a few days, it'll give us a topic of discussion for next week. And as I said, I am going to turn that into an action plan because it's one that you can do without any additional tech, right? And so I like, because, and for that reason, it's simple for you to implement, right? You need a fan page and you need an email address. I think I even misspoke. I think I said a fan page and a cell phone. You don't even need that. A fan page and an email address. And you can launch this this campaign to your target audience, and hopefully start getting some tangible results. Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure you didn't mean adding listings from the MLS for the area. No, not only did I not mean that, Vanessa, I don't think that's good strategy, period. The only listings that you add to your fan page, you should strategically add following one of the action plans. And in some cases, it might not be, the action plan that I recommend you follow might not be live yet even. But I think it's more important. You've got to have other content besides that. And most of the syndicated listings that I see on fan pages are completely ineffective. They get zero reach, which means no one sees them. And even if they do, they have really poor strategy as far as connecting and engaging with an audience. You would be much better suited to manually syndicate or post listings once or twice a week, following what's in that action plan and what's in the other action plan that will get added in there very soon. You'll get dramatically, exponentially greater results doing it that way. Paul's got a revised page to check out. Paul, I love it. My man. So Paul has been I've been recommending to Paul to narrow his focus to University City. And look at that. I mean, if this doesn't if his audience doesn't recognize and resonate with this, man, I don't know what will, So, Paul, this is great. I love it. I mean, this is great. I don't know that I'd go with this. Oh, this is your profile picture. No, that's fine. I thought this was a, you're doing the right thing here. This is just the description along with your profile picture. But man, I love it. And so the next thing, Paul, would be to make these parts congruent. Okay, because this still says St. Louis. I would make this University City homeowner. Click here, University City foreclosure deals, or it doesn't have to be foreclosure deals either, right? I mean, you can do whatever you want there. And then I would change this here to say University City homeowner ? Click here. But man, you're way better and much more congruent to the target audience that you want to attract, Paul. And this is a great picture too. I mean, my guess is, I've never been to University City, Missouri, but my guess is if I lived in University City, Missouri, I would recognize this and resonate with it. I'd say, yeah, that's us. That's University City, right? There's like a connection and an unconscious like engagement with it when you get this image right. Incidentally, this image here, this cover photo, is one that I made with Canva. And I'm going to, I don't know if I'll make it an action plan. I guess I'll make it an action plan. I don't know where else it would fit in the members area. But I'll show you guys how to make images like this with canva.com, canva.com, canva.com. It's free to use. I think there's a paid version, but you can do just about anything with the free version that I can tell anyway. You know, I made this real quick and easy one night in very little time. I'll probably make a better one because a lot of these were stock images, not stock images, but not my own images. But I just wanted to get something up ASAP. I went out and took a photography field trip earlier in the week and took a bunch of photos of things on the West Shore. So, but canva.com, I'll put that in the notes. Whoops. Check that out for sure. All right. Let me see if we have any other questions. Let me just refresh to make sure. So Paul, the long and the short of it is, kudos, my man, kudos. So keep taking imperfect action. I would update these to speak to University City, and then I would just set about consistently every day posting something here that people in University City will resonate with, who will engage with, etc. And I would follow the 80-20 rule, a different 80-20 rule. I would have 80 of that be content like what I was showing early on with the post that Dutch had made, and I would have 20% of it be offer posts. Okay. Now that is different than the campaigns. You can always be running offer style campaigns, ad campaigns. I'm talking about just the new content that you're posting on a regular basis, once or twice a day. Any other questions? I know it's kind of a pain because it's a delay because of this, and hopefully, I mean, I'm pretty sure GoToWebinar will be back up. I've only ever had it down, go down like that once or twice in the past before, like ever. So I don't expect it to be a recurring issue by any stretch of the imagination. Let me just make sure. Okay, so I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the replay of this, the recording of this, into the office hours section of our members area. Again, there's another marketing critique that we'll have uploaded today as well, that I would highly recommend that you check out. And then hopefully next week we'll be back on GoToWebinar, and we'll have a easier way of interacting, etc. Like, for example, last week, if you didn't listen to last week's office hour replay, there was some really good stuff there, thanks in part to I can't remember his name. I think it's David, but for some reason I'm not 100% sure that it was David, willing to open his line and kind of just interact. And we kind of brainstormed together his business for him and just some things with his business. So anyway, thanks everybody for your patience. I'm going to email everybody once this is live. And then if you have any additional questions or comments about this or anything, post in the group or reach out to support, and we'll talk again real soon.